So I was thinking of what to discuss on this video, and I passed the church building today on the way home, and I thought, it is sad that we're not able to come together, and I thought about the fact that it's probably the first time in this church's history in Winnsboro that we've gone 2 Sundays. I'm sure they've had a Sunday because of weather in the past that we've not been able to hold a service maybe since I've lived here, but I don't believe there's probably been two in a row. So it's kind of sad in that way, but I understand it. This makes it very challenging for us to be together, obviously, and we don't want to put people at risk. So we're erring on the safe side by not coming together, and we want to continue to encourage everyone to study at home and have worship time together at home. And as part of this, we've decided to do these videos during the week to just help people with something else, some other thoughts during the week. And I was thinking about the fact that we just take it for granted when we meet and when we're able to see each other on a regular basis. We take a lot of things for granted in our lives. We need to stop and really think about that and think about how we miss that time together and how special that is to us when we're able to be together. And when we are able to come together, hopefully soon, we will be able to enjoy that and really enjoy being in each other's presence and sharing time together. And I look forward to that, as I hope you do too. But while we're apart, let's be together in thought. And we can be together in thought. We can study the scriptures together. We're in the process of Colby and KT and the elders working on maybe putting some lessons together we can do on video, and I think that will be good. Something else I thought about was how we get in difficult situations like we are now, and we think somehow this is, and I know older people don't think this necessarily, but the older I get, the less I think that this is the first time this has happened, and it's not. Maybe this particular thing sort of in our lifetime, but they've had illnesses, mass illnesses in the past, especially many, many, many years ago before our parents and our grandparents. There were other issues like this where people had mass illnesses or, other difficulties. And I think back to times like 9/11, where everybody was just in shock and thought the world would never be the same. And we always get through these things, and people of God know how to get through these things. We have our faith, we have our brothers and sisters to depend on, we have those relationships, we have our faith, and we believe that God will get us through this. And I think about some of the characters in the Bible that went through extremely difficult times, and we look at Job, always jumps out as one of the first ones I think about. We look at David when he was being pursued by Saul. And David, he couldn't figure out. He knew it was people telling Saul things that weren't right, and it turned Saul against him. But David, at one point, he's talking to Saul. He said in 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 17, "Then Saul knew David's voice and said, 'Is that your voice, my son David?' David said, 'It is my voice, my lord, O king.' And he said, 'Why does my lord thus pursue his servant? What have I done, or what evil is in my hand? Now, therefore, please let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord has stirred you up against me, let him accept an offering. But if it is the children of men, may they be cursed before the Lord. For they have driven me out this day from sharing in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go serve other gods. So now do not let my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel has come out to seek a flea, as when one hunts a partridge in the mountains.' Then Saul said, 'I have sinned. Return, my son David, for I will harm you no more, because my life was precious in your eyes this day. Indeed, I have played the fool and erred exceedingly.'" And I think about the story of David having to hide and run from Saul to keep his life. And there's 2 occasions, I believe, where one, he could have taken Saul's life and he didn't. But I think about him going through those difficulties, and I'm sure he felt, it was unfair. And just like sometimes we feel these things are unfair, and other characters, other situations in the Bible, and the disciples in the New Testament times were persecuted and had to flee for their life, and they were scattered all over. And I'm sure they thought it was unfair. But, as my parents always taught me, life is not fair. And sometimes things seem a little unfair. So this all seems a little unfair, and we don't like being apart. But we do need to appreciate the time when we're together and learn to appreciate that so much more after these difficult times. So let's look forward to that time. Let's think about each other, call each other, text each other, send messages. We have a lot of different ways to stay in contact now, so let's use those things. And use your life groups. Get in touch with the people in your life group. We need to do that more in our life group. So just encourage you to contact those you haven't heard from in a while and encourage them and be a source of encouragement to them during our time apart. And I hope all of you have a great week, and God bless you all until we see each other again.